Hello and welcome, friends of YouTubers and friends of Baseball Collector and Chris from Missouri, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Showcase Showdown. If you can tell, I'm sitting here in this beautiful spot on this side where the winners usually sit, and that makes me the home team. And man, I might want to slow this intro down so I can sit here just a little bit longer. Setting over there, well, let me get this straight. There is our buddy Mike, Baseball Collector. And since he's sitting there, he must be the loser of episode 3. So, Mike, why don't you say hello to all the folks here?
You're really rusty at that intro part for sure. And don't worry, I'll try to make it a short-lived deal. You being on the left side there. Congrats on the win last week. That was very nice. And tonight we've got a great player, I think a very underrated player in the hobby for sure that we're going to do, and that's Don Drysdale.
Well, first, let's talk a little bit more about Ralph Kiner that I won. But you know,
I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to move on quickly here.
Yeah, well, you know, you did well. You did the best you could, and you get a participation trophy. But I kind of liken Don Drysdale a little bit to Ralph Kiner. Both of them had a short career. Both of them, when you talk about lore of their franchises, Drysdale doesn't get lost, but he gets forgotten some because he's behind, Sandy Koufax and some greats. Just like Kiner kind of gets lost in Pirates lore behind, the greats of Roberto Clemente. So I compare them. They compare well to me I compare them to each other because both were great for a short period of time and aren't recognized as much in the hobby. Do you agree with that?
Totally agree with that. Every time we get ready to do a Showcase Showdown, I go and look at the baseball reference page of each player and just try to get some nuggets to share with the audience so that people who may not be as familiar with these players can learn something. And Drysdale, only played 14 years. He won 3 World Series. He pitched most of his career with, he came in a little bit after Koufax and stayed a little bit longer than Koufax, but their careers overlapped. In fact, there was a time when they tried to jointly negotiate their contracts. That's actually portrayed on the baseball documentary by Ken Burns. And, Drysdale, I looked at his stats and I wasn't overly impressed, truthfully, especially for that era, an era of pitching, an era of Bob Gibson's and, Koufax's and stuff like that. He actually, his last 3 years was like, I did the math earlier. It was like 45 and 44, 45 and 42 or something. He was very mediocre, very average, 500 kind of pitcher. He ate up a lot of innings, had a lot of strikeouts, no doubt. And I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. He just wasn't one of those guys that blew you away with his stats. He won 1 Cy Young Award, I think 65 maybe, if I remember right. But not overwhelming stats. Great ERAs for sure, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I totally agree with you, but I'm a little bit older than you, but we're kind of the same generation, and we didn't get to see him throw. But we did get to see him quite a bit because he was a color commentator for a lot of baseball stuff and games of the week and different things. And he just seemed awful young to be doing announcing like he was. But I believe he's one of those guys that the generation before us, if we would say, man, I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, they would argue saying, oh, you never saw him pitch. Man, the guy was not afraid of anything, wasn't afraid to pitch inside. When it came, when he needed a strikeout, he got a strikeout. And, he's a very good athlete. And I believe he is one of those guys that you just had to see to appreciate him as much as they do. And so, I kind of take their word for him.
My biggest memory of Drysdale is seeing him appear on the Brady Bunch when he tried to talk. Who was the oldest Brady boy? Darn it. Why am I
Greg?
going? Greg. He tried to drop Greg out of pursuing a baseball career. And if you've seen Greg Brady, he does not look like a baseball player. So I don't think there was much there. But I remember seeing him on there on the Brady Bunch and saw him as a color commentator, like you said, for a long time in the 80s. He was with Ben Scully and did a lot of stuff with the Dodgers and Game of the Week, even nationally. He was a broadcaster. So him, Joe Morgan, guys, Ralph Kiner was a big broadcaster for a long time. So that seems to be, now look at Tom Brady, right? He's a big broadcaster. Sure. So,
and then also, I hope I don't get this wrong because we'll get somebody that corrects me in the comments, but I believe he married Ann Meyer, the famous basketball player.
Yeah, that's right. Basketball player.
I think that's her name. And she was one of the first women basketball players to have a tryout for the NBA. And I just always thought that was neat. And, and pitchers always.
Another thing that hurts Drysdale's legacy is he died really young. He died at 56, I think. And so he wasn't around in more modern times for, that longevity, and people didn't bring him up. He didn't come up a lot in terms of just people talking about baseball and history, and certainly in the hobby, his stuff is crazy cheap for being a Hall of Famer, right?
Exactly. Okay.
And so that's why we both have his entire runs that we're about to show you right now.
Well, I tell you what, before we get started, now remember, this is probably the first time I get to do this, but I want to thank the Penny Sleever for sponsoring Showcase Showdown. Did I say that right? The Penny Sleever?
You did.
Okay. So listen, I consider my mom and pop company with really good products. And to prove that they're good products, I wanted to show you these first of all. And I use the card sleeve. I use their card sleeves, and I really like it. And I seriously do. And I want to show this Patrick Mahomes, who actually, his football team's 2-0, but how perfect that fits in that card sleeve. And it was really easy for a blind guy like me to put it in there. So I wanted to show that one. And the one that I really, really kind of like is this magnetic card holder. And this one, you know how the bottom of those card holders, every once in a while, when you hit that magnet up there, it's hard to come together because you got to fit the two things in the grooves. Well, I didn't have any problem with that. And if I don't have any problem with that, you guys won't have any problem with that. And I wanted to show off this Salvador Perez, who is having a heck of a year and a heck of a career, and they are still looking like they're going to make the playoffs. So if you get a chance, go out there and support them. I mean, heck, if they can support us, we can show them some love. They were at your meet and greet at the National, giving away things to other YouTubers. And I understand they have some new products coming out that I don't know about, but you want to enlighten everybody here on YouTube, since you're like cool enough and big enough that they're going to tell you all about that and not share that with me. But go right ahead.
You bet. From what I understand, in the next few days or week at the most, they're going to be coming out with a whole new line of products. What's annoying is if you're a vintage collector like we are, Chris, finding the right holder for the right card based on, 50 Bowman or 52 Bowman or 53 Tops, bigger cards. And they're coming out with a full line of vintage supplies, top loaders built and made just for those specific cards. And the thing I'm most excited about, Chris, is, me, I put sleeves on every single slab that I own, and they are coming out with their version of perfect fit sleeves, superior fit sleeves. And so I am super excited to try those when they come out and use them, because I'm about due for a new order, and we all need supplies from time to time. So make sure you check down below. The link is below. If you use the discount code SHOWCASE, you will get 10% off your order. And that's not just your first order. That's all your orders. So just keep using that code all you want. Every time you need supplies, go check out thepennysleever.com, and we appreciate their support.
Well, that is good. Looking forward to it. Now, since I'm in charge of this show, because I'm sitting in the winner's chair here, let's get this thing started. And I tell you what, why don't before we get it started? See, listen, I'm new to this.
You are.
You be my lackey this time and tell everybody out there what they should be doing and tell them the rules of Showcase Showdown. Now, don't mess this up because the guy that usually does this is really good at it.
Well, let me tell you, this is my least favorite half hour on YouTube when Chris wins. But no, we have a great time with it. And what I want you guys to do is if you want to follow along with us, which a lot of people do, we hear about it, love it that you guys do that. Hit pause on this video, go grab all your Don Drysdale cards, put them in order from the newest card, which would be 69 tops, all the way back to his rookie, 1957. And put them in order. And if you have the card, you get 5 points. If you have it graded, you get an equal number of points for the numeric grade that it has. So if you had a PSA 5, you'd get 10 points for that card. Add them all up at the end, and you'd get a total score. Remembering that the rookie card at the end, the 57 tops, is worth double points. And we'll see who wins this one. I'm not terribly confident, Chris, that I'm going to knock you off your pedestal here tonight.
Well, I am pretty confident that you are. That's the bad thing about this. But this is the 4th episode of season 2, and in the first 3 episodes, the games, the showdowns have been decided by 3 whole points. And I won the Kiner because you didn't have a 50 Kiner and the Leaf Kiner.
49. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was missing 2. I was missing the 49 and 50 Bowmans. Yeah.
Okay. And so that's how good your cards were, because I just barely won. And I mean, this season might be like that all the way through. I would say that out of all the cards on the wheel, all the players on the wheel, this is one of my bottom 3 cards of my collection. So like I say, I'm going to talk really slow, so this lasts for a long time while I'm sitting in this seat. But since I am the home team, you are the visitors, I would like you to lead off, please.
Leading off. Let's put us in showdown mode first, so the cards take center stage and not our ugly mugs. But 1969 tops, his last card. Simple card, easy card. I have it in a PSA 7.
And I have mine in a PSA 5, which you start off in the lead for the 37th time in a row, I believe.
You know, there was somebody asking me, Chris, like, what's the all-time record? And I don't really even know. So,
well, let me answer it for him. Let me answer it for him. We're 1-0. I'm 1-0 since the last stuff. That's what I remember.
So. All right, 68.
All right, 68 is mine.
Got a small lead.
This could be a tough card, but you know, I have a well-centered and a beautiful card, but it's just a 4.
Well, that's pretty good. I have a 3.5.
Okay, well that means I'm no hit. I'm not no hit tonight.
That's right. You did get a single off the glove of the first baseman. 1967 tops. It's actually one of my more favorite cards of his. Just a good looking pose. I have it in a PSA 4.
I was going to say the same thing. This is one of my favorite cards of his. His cards aren't necessarily boring, but there's not a lot of movement in it. And I have one in a PSA 4.
Okay. Holding serve, I see. All right.
So 66 again, and you know, he's a really good looking ball player. Bill James has a book out. Oh, he had many books out, and he just said that Don Drysdale was one of the best looking ball players, that he looked like a ball player. And I have one in an SGC 5.
I have a PSA 5. So this feels very normally tight, like it's been all season.
Well, you're getting ready to break away here.
65. Again, a lot of headshots with Drysdale cards, right? This one's no different. I have the 65 and a PSA 6.
Yeah. Well, I have this and a PSA 2.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of puts you out there a little bit.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. So this one looks like a bronze statue to me. The 64, I have mine an SGC 5.
And I have a 6.5. The lead is growing.
It is.
So 63, by the way, which I'm going to show, I have a PSA 6, but notice it's the same picture. One's just cropped more. So lazy tops. I have a PSA 6 in the 63.
Oh, Mike. I have a 2.
Yours looks good, though.
It looks good. Now, listen, I hope you forgot this because the 63 Fleer is part of his run.
I did forget that.
And I have a 4.
Dang it. What card number is that?
If you don't know, you can't find it in that thing. So
hold on. I truly might have it. I don't think I do, but
it's number 41. And the whole can you hear people watching this right now? Your camera's starting to shake because they're jumping up and down, hoping you don't have this. And I think you got a card machine there that can make one like right away.
I do not have it, and I'm just excited because I was actually wearing pants and I could go do that. Dang it, that's a 0 for me. What'd you have on that?
A 4.
Oh, I gotta fix it. Oh.
Just to prove it to you.
No, I believe you. Dang it.
That gets us closer. That gets us closer.
That gets us more than closer. We're halfway through. Do you want to know where we're at?
I do.
After you drop that bombshell on me. Oh, you're at 71. I'm at 73. So I still do have a lead, even though I didn't have a card.
Well, that's the only thing that could have given me a chance.
Did you have that one? The Dodgers Big 3 from 1963.
I probably have it with Sandy Koufax instead of Drysdale Run.
Yeah,
but no, I don't think I do, Mike.
Yeah, that's actually not a cheap card for some reason. Anything with Koufax makes it not cheap.
Right.
What are you drinking tonight, by the way? Sure.
I'm drinking gin and 7-Up in a dirty fruit punch glass that I was celebrating with the Chiefs win.
I've got a little Crown Apple and Sprite going.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay. 62. I think it's you.
Nope, it's you because I broke out that 63 Fleer and surprised you with it.
That's right. I'm holding up a middle finger under the screen here. You can guess which one it is. All right, a finger. I said, I guess I just told you guys what finger it was. All right, 62 tops. What a 4?
I have a 4 as well. So now you're sitting there worried a little bit because I know how competitive you are. Do I really know what his rookie card is?
Oh, I'm kind of worried.
Or did Chris go to a show and pick up a higher rookie card?
There's the 62 All-Star. Again, they did this again in 61. Same pick, It's like, come on, man. All right, what do you got for 61?
So it is my turn.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
And before we did this video, before we started, when we were talking about doing it, I told you you're going to see a card that you're going to say, that's not your card. And luckily it's this time, but you have a beautiful 61 too, I just saw. I have mine in an 8.
Wow. Is that really your card?
It is my card. Yes.
Well, I have a 6.5, so I'm able to at least stay within shouting distance.
Well, that puts us even closer. You're still ahead, I think.
By a half point right now.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be pretty good down at the end, I think.
Well, here's 60 tops. I have a 5.5.
I have a 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's close though. I'm not running away with it.
Yeah,
How about the 60 All-Star?
Beautiful card.
All right, 59.
Man, I should have picked one of these up at the show. I should have. I have a 2.
Yeah, I got a 4.5.
That gives you some comfortable distance right there.
I think Drysdale might be the guy that I have them. I counted it up. I have 6 of his cards are half grades for some reason. I don't know.
Right.
This one's not a half grade though. 58, second year, another headshot. All these are headshots. It's hilarious. How about a 4?
Dang it. I have a 4 as well. So we're coming into the last card.
I think I'm winning by, let me tell you. I'm winning by 3.5. So you need to have a decent rookie.
Well, I know that you have a better rookie than mine, but I have a grade with 4 stickers on it as well.
Okay.
So I should count those stickers as points. So I have a 3.
I've got a 4.5.
Dang. Still fairly close. Oh.
So heartbroken for you, man. Really, really.
It was fun sitting over here while it lasted. But again, another close one. Take your victory lap. Thank all the people that made it possible for you to win this, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it was 141.5 to 135 was the final. So it ended up pulling away a little bit towards the end. But that was, he's got, again, no cards that are just like, oh my gosh, I got to own that. It's so cool looking kind of cards, but his stuff's cheap and he's a Hall of Famer and part of a great team. And now your favorite part.
Hang on 1 second.
Guzzle that sucker down. All right, we have got some great names. We got 11 names left on the wheel as it sits today, subject to change, by the way. So let's give this sucker a spin and see who's going to be on tap for next week. Jolton Joe DiMaggio.
Well, we're all just taking your word for that, Mike, because we can't see it on screen.
Oh, seriously? Oh, hang on. There it is. Look.
Now, I would have questioned that if it landed on Lou Gehrig, like 3 different times. But last week it almost landed on Joe DiMaggio.
Right.
It just kind of flipped over at the end.
Well, there's Jolton Joe, so I'm going to remove him now. I thought it was showing on the screen. I apologize.
Oh, no. He's going to be on there sometime anyway. So,
that'll be good. I'm missing a lot of DiMaggio cards. You have several that I don't. And so this will be an interesting showdown. He doesn't have a ton of, like, his base run will not be that big, but I think we can each show maybe a few other DiMaggio cards we might have in our collection that are just cool.
I know you have some, relic cards and some autograph cards. I mean, he's one I believe we should do on his own and not add another player to it. So he's just because of how great some of the cards are and that kind of stuff. And
for sure.
He's actually one we could have saved for the last show, but heck, anytime we get to show some Joe DiMaggio cards, and this will be, some people will watch this and get excited because they'll know that their collection might be better than ours and be able to follow along with us and feel good about it. So I think I think a lot of people will watch that.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's, again, we'll have some holes, but you know, we don't control who the wheel lands on, right?
That is correct.
Wink, wink. No, thanks, Chris. I'm glad. I feel great to be back in the winner's circle. So back to normal. All right.
Well, all right. Well, listen, thanks for letting me be on this thing, and everybody, don't forget about the penny slaver. If they're gonna help sponsor this, golly, I'm gonna thank them every time I possibly can.
You bet. Thanks everybody so much for watching this week. We'll catch you guys next week for another Showcase Showdown. Have a great one and keep collecting.